right. So yeah, this is going to be an introduction call of the Appian, the kind of demo. We can talk about the Appian, what Appian is, how Appian works, and first of all, we will get to know each other, what kind of audience we have here, and then we'll talk about the Appian technology, how it works, what are the positions in the market right now for the Appian, what are the things we can perform in Appian. Basically, about the Appian, we will talk about it, and we will also see how an Appian tool will look like, and how we do the development. All every what are the interfaces we have, how much coding we may be doing it. So we will be talking about all those things. Right. So before we start, guys, let's have a quick discussion about kind of an introduction call with each one of you, and if you guys can also let me know that what's your experience. Are you a fresher, or maybe you're working, and if you're working on a which technology, and why Appian? So who wants to go first?
Hi, I'm audible.
Yeah, you are, Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Harsha. Hi. So, my name is Krishna Kumar Shah, and I have around 11 year experience. I'm currently working as test automation lead. I recently
Okay.
come from the onsite. I was in Germany on the onsite. I
Mm-hmm.
recently moved to India, and now I
Mm-hmm.
think like it's good time to. I recently joined a new project where we are using the Appian to make some in-house project,
Mm-hmm.
and the client is again is from Germany. So I thought it's a good
Right.
time to learn the new technology and start. To move from not only the QA to have the full stack, like full stack including QA and development both. So that's
Okay.
why I'm here.
Right. Great. And how you come about know about the Appian?
I just saw. Okay, so actually, I saw some video on YouTube, and then there
Okay.
was a and with the logo. Then I got a number. So I saw initial the. I saw around somewhere 15 videos, but I didn't.
Mhm.
But I was not able to connect all the points. The reason behind because videos are not in the series one, and
Right.
then I
Right.
connect one lady. She said, okay,
Okay.
whatever video
Right.
available on the YouTube, they are not in the series. They are just only first few videos to make sure that
Right.
okay, are you able to understand the content, are you able to connect yourself, do you know what is the Appian, how it works?
Right.
So that's why we have few videos, and then if you want to continue you have to take the paid version.
Right.
So
No,
that's
Krishna, more I was wanted to know that how you know about the Appian technology itself.
okay about the
Why?
Appian.
Yeah.
Okay, to be honest, I have for me, I was aware with the Pega. That Pega
Okay.
is one of the in-house project. It's a used for the development of the web API,
Mm-hmm.
mobile, and anything. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a good. Once you want to have some in-house one, where the your user have a user capacity is very low amount, then you go
Right.
for the Pega. It's really easy to develop, easy to maintain, and easy to deploy and
Right.
everything. But in case
Right.
if you want to have where user going to be higher, that's just example for
Mm-hmm.
IRCTC when we have
Right.
IRCTC for Tatkal booking, like current booking. So that
Right.
time for this, the Pega and APN both are going to be too much costly, and that's why client go for the Java in the backend as Java and the UI for the
Right. Right.
Next.js. So
Right.
that's how basic I have idea. I'm not sure even I'm correct or not,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
that's how
That's
I
it.
know it.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks. Thanks, Krishna. Thanks for your introduction.
yeah.
Yeah. Who wanna go next?
Yeah, hi Ravi. My side,
Hey.
this side Chaitanya.
Hey,
Okay.
Chaitanya.
Yeah, I have around 8+ years of experience in Java.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we are. I used to work for one of the project. For that project, we are migrating it to a APN. That is why
Okay.
I
Great.
thought to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chaitanya.
yeah. Thank you, Ravi.
Yeah. Anyone else like Bharat, Satish? Wanna go next?
Yeah, hi Ravi. This is Satish.
Hey, Satish.
Yeah, I have 8 years of experience actually total. So
Mm-hmm.
I was with working in Pega.
Okay.
So actually I how good is that? I mean whether I can learn APN because both are BPM tools, right?
Right.
So Pega and APN. So I want to because in most of the companies and even in my company also they are about to migrate to Pega from Pega to
Right.
Java.
Right.
So what about APN? So how good you suggest me? Because as a career growth, do I need to learn Java or any other BPM tools like APN or?
No, no. First of all, I'm sure everyone, right? If you wanted to learn Appian, you do not have to know either Pega or Java or any other language. It's a really basic things, it's concept wise, configuration wise things are there, right? You don't have to memorize all your function name and what you need to do. Every description, everything will be available. Just a drag and drop and configuration. Yes, obviously, it's a low code, so you have to do some coding, right? But it won't be that tough. It's like a rocket science, right? It will be easy, right? It will be very
Mm-hmm.
easy. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Thanks, Satish.
Okay.
Yeah. Bharat, you wanna go next?
Yeah, hi, good evening, guys. Yeah, I'm myself Bharat, and I'm from recruiting side. I mean, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a developer or a
Okay.
coder.
Okay. Okay.
Just looking to change my platform.
Right.
So I have
Right.
almost like 13 years of experience
Right.
in recruiting front.
Okay. That's fine. So my last statement was for you, Bharat, especially, because many people think, right? I was in recruiting, I was in HR. Is it possible? Can I move to the, development side or not? So yes, you can. Obviously, you can do that. It's very easy, not that tough. It's not very easy. Just a configuration things you have to do. Some more coding is there, right? But you will be able to do it. So what you need to be clear of your concept wise, you should know how to, what to say that, um, kind of a pseudo code, right? If I ask you to, I'm not saying to know the language or to know the coding, to know the concept. If I ask you to go maybe Hyderabad, right? Then how do you go to the Hyderabad? You should know that. You should decide that. That thinking process you should be having it. Once you have the thinking process, coding is very easy. So don't worry. It's not like you can't move from some other work to the development. So you can. Okay. Right. Thanks for it. Ishita, you're gonna go next. And not sure Dell. Is that not your system name or you? Sorry for that, but yeah, if you want to introduce yourself, okay, maybe not on there, but yeah, it's recording is going on. So all right, guys, this is very important to understand that what my audience is, who has any information, like kind of development or not. So based on that, I can design my um, schedule my training. Because it's not fixed thing. It depends on the candidates, how what kind of friends I have, so I can design according to that. All right. So yeah, we have some developers, we have someone who knows BPM as well, and some are like from other background, so that's totally fine. We will go very from the scratch, doing most of the developing every object from the scratch, and we see how Appian actually works, and we'll do that. All right. So let me quickly share my screen, and let's start with the question like, okay, so someone knows about the Appian. So can anyone tell me what an Appian is basically?
Low code, no code platform. That's what I
No,
mean.
no, you can't say low code and no code, right? Those are two different things. Either it will be a low code or it will be a no code, right?
It's a low code, not no code. It's a low code.
Yeah, it's a low code tool, right? But what it is actually, is it a programming language?
No, no. It's a drag and drop. I mean, I would say like drag and drop.
It's a
Uh,
platform.
the platform where exactly you can say.
The platform. Okay. I would say
Uh,
it's a basically it's a tool, right?
yep.
Right. So what kind of tool it is?
To develop, I mean, to design something.
Uh-huh. But someone has mentioned, right? It is a basically a BPM tool, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It's a BPM tool. So what's the BPM stand for?
Business process BPM
Right.
management
BPM.
something. Business process
Business
management.
pro right. Business process management. That's correct. Can anyone explain what the business process management is basically?
Okay, well, what I have heard, or maybe what I know, I can tell you. I mean, maybe you can correct
Yeah.
me also.
Sure.
So,
Mm-hmm.
just something like I understood that when the people, I mean, from people from the business side, they want to perform, they want to make some like some kind of business where they want to have how we say a dummy or demo kind of application where they can
Mm-hmm.
develop without getting knowledge of the coding, without getting knowledge of the cloud and everything like for them it's just they came, there's some did drag and drop, they make some the UI, they said okay, this is how we are planning to make some application, this is how gonna look like, what are the these are the feature that we are planning on.
Okay.
So a kind of dummy application that business want to make it to show like how a business going to work it, and when they approve it, then they used to go for the like to expand it to enhance that one. And then maybe if they have a multiple users, like a lot of the users, then they go for the like UI and I mean the backend. I mean from the different from AP from your APN to Java and something.
Okay. Okay. I mean that what you're talking is basically kind of proof of concept thing, where the people go and develop a proof of concept, and then if it get approved and get into the real projects. But what I was asking is the business process management. In the business process management, the business stands for basically the requirement that clients give you to develop. Like say if they want, I want an UI where I can go and fill my details or maybe capture the details for a customer and save it to my database. So that's a one kind of requirement, right? Right. So that's a business. Now, in general term, and I used to explain it all the places. It's very nice example, the real time example. If I ask you that, give me a tea, a cup of tea. So what I was asking is a cup of a tea, and which is nothing about a requirement. So that's my business. I want a cup of tea. Right? Now, next comes the process. The process is that how you are going to design that UI. you know uh, is it going to have any workflow, where you want to save it, what happen if you click on submit, what happen if you click on cancel, what if you close the form. So you have to define a process for any business requirement that client has given you. So if, as I said, right, the real time example that I need a cup of tea. So there should be a process of preparing a tea, right? You might switch on the gas stove, you put some vessels, you put some water, then milk and all, right? So you will follow a process. So that's a business process. And what about the management? Management is like where you want to bring the from where you want to bring the information and to where you want to save it. Right. So I might have the sugar in some box, right? So I have to take the sugar and then use it and then keep it again the same place, and then use a tea and milk from somewhere else. So we are bringing the information from different places and we are collecting at the one place, and then we are finally giving a output as a tea, right? So that's the business process management, how you achieve a requirement given by the client. Okay, is that clear? Yes, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So, and then we also discuss about the what kind of tool it is, like, it's a low code or no code. Can anyone tell me what's the difference between no code and low code?
Low code something where you hardly write, I mean, or a very, I mean, very less quantity of code is required. For example, when
Okay.
you design on the UI side, for
Mm-hmm.
using any Angular JS or something, because I
Mm-hmm.
have done that one, so I know. So you
Mm-hmm.
actually write a lot of the code there, but in the
Right.
so it's a more code. So, but in the low code, in the APN side, just you have to drag or drop a very small piece, like only 5 to 10 lines will be there, and then you can see
Mm-hmm.
like your entire one particular segment is developed. So that's
Okay.
why we say it's a low code.
Right. And what about the no code?
Where's I mean no code is like no code. There's no code.
Then
There's
why we are not going for the no code? Why we are learning low code?
Yeah, no code means something predefined already there.
Right.
Yeah.
So why people mostly go for a low code, not no code?
maybe because they want to have it
Some
some enhancement themselves.
some
So that's why
customization is needed there.
customization, yeah, for
Customizations,
so
right.
exactly.
Right. So in the no code, you cannot do any
Cus-
customization. So whatever has been defined, you just have to reuse it. Right.
Okay.
However, business wants to do some customize. I know I want this in this particular color, but no code tool won't allow you to do that. So all those configurations, if you want to customize it according to your requirement, according to your thinking process, this is how my UI should look like. Then you go for a low code tool, right? So that's the basically difference between the no code and low code. Low code allows you to do the customization, right? All right. Now, what kind of coding we do in Appian basically? Let me share. Give me 1 second. Right. So people might think, if I had to do the coding, I have no coding background. So how do I manage then? So you don't have to worry about it. The coding is very simple. You might have learned in the college or maybe universities where you have done masters or all. So this is what a code of example. If you think that one of the value x is equal to 5, then display yes or no. It's very simple. Even though if you want to create any text field and all, right? So in any other programming languages, you have to write each and every line of the code for your text field just to design one text field. Here in Appian, you have to drag and drop and just do the configurations, all the backend code. By the way, one more thing to let you know that the Appian tool itself has been built on Java, right? But you do not have to learn Java for that. That's a totally different thing. But this tool has been designed on Java. All right. So now if you talk about the text field, right? So we have a function defined for a text field. You can see this one. So this is a function called define the text field. If you just write this function, you will be able to see a text field on your UI panel. Now, if you want to do some, labeling, what's the label of that text field? So you can put just label and then put some label like first name. Yeah, that's it. So the text field will start having the label as a first name. So you do not have to write the actual code to design something. 90% chances, 90% cases are there, you have to configure it. What should be the label? What should the value? It should be read only or not? Such kind of things you will have to do. Same for drop down. You have a function called drop down. Just use this function and you will have a drop down field design on your UI panel. You do not have to write a code to show a drop down field actually. All the things are already done in the Appian. You just have to use the function. And then we can have label. So maybe we can have a label, say country. So if this drop down is going to display the list of the country. So you can have a list of the country and then you can select it from there. Right? So what we have is basically configuration. Right. So we'll talk about this. Now, what kind of language? Whenever there's a Appian, they ask what kind of language it is used to do the coding because we have some coding there, right? So it is called SAIL, self-assembled interface language, right? So that's Appian its own language itself. Now, when we were talking about the introduction, someone mentioned kind of application that we built. So who can think like what kind of application we built in Appian?
Like both Windows web, Windows web and maybe the backend also.
Mm-hmm. Right? But can we build IRCTCs as you mentioned the IRCTC?
Of course, we can develop the ICTC, but of course not that much skilled one. But for the UI, we can develop a login feature. We can just search something. So that we can,
Right.
I think, I should be developed.
Right. So why we cannot develop an application like IRCTC, even though we can write a code and it will be look like, but why you actually cannot do that? Because Appian is a costly tool, and the cost depends on the number of logged in users. So if you are going to build an application for like general people, there could be millions, right? So you cannot create millions of credentials. Even though you can, you will have to pay a lot of charges for that. So no company will bear that cost, right? For that we
Okay.
have .NET, Java, Python, right?
Okay. Just one stupid question. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So okay, I understood as you're saying, like if we want to create IRCTC on the using Appian, so we have to create multiple users, maybe in the millions
Right,
or trillions something.
right.
Uh, I mean, is it like maintained by Appian only, or the Appian give their services and the company host the Appian services on their server? Like how it works?
There are two things. Appian is the two versions. One is the on cloud and one is the on premise. If you are using on cloud, then Appian will be supporting your all the servers. If you are going to install Appian on your premise on your own server,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to do the maintenance,
Ah,
right?
okay.
Right? And Appian charges based on the number of users you have created in your Appian server. Right? Now, if we cannot create ICT's kind of application, then what kind of application companies are using, and for whom? Who are the end users?
Just like maybe the best example I can give, like when you take the personal loan, so SDFC
Mm-hmm.
or any bank, they have their own application which is used
Mm-hmm.
as the SDFC or ICC agents.
Mm-hmm.
So those applications only used by the agents, which are the part of the SDFC. So SDFC know like, okay, I have somewhere like in entire
Right.
India somewhere 5 lakhs
Right.
somewhere I will say like 5 lakhs employees are there. So I need to make only 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs in credential at a time, and that going to
So,
work it.
right. So basically, the Appian and Pega or all these things are creating the application for the in-house employees, right? The employees
Yeah.
that is working for an organization, not for the general people. Okay. So what we can do, we can, let's say, for example, in your company you're working, you can build a leave management system where you can go and maintain your leave and everything, right? So that's kind of application Appian allows you to build. Okay. I have that is clear. All right. Now let's go for a demo of the presentations. Before going moving to the presentations, do you guys have any questions?
Not now. I mean, I don't have not now. Maybe I'll
Okay.
come after seeing the presentation.
Yeah.
And
Anyone
so
else?
if we are using different, if we are not using more user-centric applications, if you are not able to create through APN,
Mm-hmm.
so in real world, you said only internal organizations will be
Mm-hmm.
using it. So
Right.
how often, I mean, then the opportunities for the APN resources will be very less, right?
Why so? You think about the use of the application. You visit the bank, right? You are sharing your details. Maybe you are giving a check, but the
Hmm.
person who's sitting behind the chair is actually using an application to process your check, right? So
Okay.
every company need application. They can't do the paperwork. They need an application to follow the process of the general people. So that's the reason they
Hmm.
are building applications, right?
No, no. I think his question is that who are gonna create the APN application in even we already have some backend Java which is very strong and secure. We have a now the next JS which is going to be like higher secured and advanced for the UI. So who are
Okay,
gonna use the APN in the market, right? I mean, if I'm not wrong,
right.
that's the only question I
Okay.
understood.
if if that's the case, then if you have already worked in the Java, right? If I and you have 10 years of experience, if I ask you to build an application, very simple application, I should have an UI where I can capture the details of a customer and I need to save it to the database, and then I need a dashboard where I can go and I can see the list of the customers. If I click on a list of any one of them, I should see a dashboard giving an whole details of that customer. To develop such thing, how much time you need in Java as an average? I'm not asking you the exact time. It's just
Yeah,
tell
I'll
me.
say with my experience.
Somewhere somewhere
Yeah,
2 to 3 weeks, somewhere maximum, I believe.
Yeah. I
if
give
you,
you in Appian, I give you in 5 minutes.
yeah, if you want to migrate any existing application to new technology or other uh, language,
Right.
right, it will take more time. That is why people are opting for
Right.
these low code
Now you
platforms.
tell me 2 to 3 weeks, let's say 2 weeks and 5 minutes. Which one you will choose?
Yeah, of course I'll go for the 5 minutes, but I have to understand the scalability and the reliability also. I mean,
Right. Right.
I understood like because so my understanding says like, okay, people are using Appian. Those who I mean those are gonna plan a new business and they want to see how the reaction gonna come. I can just
Right.
give a normal example. For example, the Facebook. When the Facebook
Uh-huh.
got started, it was very low, very low, like customers were there. So maybe he
Right.
started with the Appian, and then later when he realized, no, I'm going to have a million or trillions of users. So then he said,
Now
okay,
that
now let's have it.
now
Somewhere.
that's
Mhm.
thinking you should have in your mind, because Facebook is a kind of application which is going to use by millions of users, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
general people. So no one will suggest you to develop even in the initial phase that go for the Appian. Even
yep.
company client will understand. No, it's not. Now, when you talk about the maintainability, right? Now you tell me the thing that is took 2 to 3 weeks to develop, definitely it is going to take more time to maintain as well, right? The thing
Yeah.
that is going to develop in 5 minutes will take less time for maintenance as well. So in the terms of maintenance also, Appian is very quick as compared to the other languages because the
Okay.
code is less, so maintenance is less, right? The chances of bug is less, right? And it is very faster as compared to any other programming languages. Appian is very faster. That's the reason. And for any organization, for any client, the biggest money is time. Yeah, they don't want now. No one wants to spend like months to develop an application. They want very quick result. Yeah. So that's why many organizations now adapted Appian because it's very fast as compared to any other programming languages. Right? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So we talk about the Appian, basically. So these are the agenda for the today's session. We'll talk about the what's a BPM that we know now, but what's the market position of the Appian, low code things, where it fits, data and process analytics, what kind of objects we have, components we have in Appian. Let's see all those things. Right. As I talk about the process, right? If I ask for a business like I want a tea, so you might be, there's a process you will follow. But no, there could be multiple processes as well, right? Someone wants to pour milk first, someone wants to pour the water first, right? So it depends on the thinking process that how they want to achieve the final requirement as an output as a tea. So there could be multiple processes as well. So it's not a defined thing that you should always follow one step. There could be many other steps. No, so you have to think in that way. So like for example, here is given, right? Online shopping is there, a customer make an offer, as a company send an offer to the customer either accept or decline it. If they accept, then there should be some payment has to be done. Once the payment has been completed, then it has to generate a receipt. The receipt has to be sent back to the customers, and then product has to be packed, and then it has to be delivered, right, on the shipment and all. So this process that we follow in the back end, and front end we take the inputs and whatever we needed, right? So this process that we design in Appian, they use one object called process modeling. The process modeling is used to define the process of the requirement what we have. And then we have your interface objects to show the interface, to take an input and show the informations. Right, we talk about the Appian, what Appian is, what it can do, basically it can develop what kind of applications. Now why Appian is getting more popular, because Appian now has its own artificial intelligence. It has its own process minings, robotic process, RPA, uh, uh, AI skills, many things. Now Appian is now investing all those things in within here itself. You don't have to buy a separate licensing for that, or maybe you do not have to buy the separate application for like RPA, for the AI skills. So that's the reason Appian is getting more and more, demandable in the market. Just to clear one more thing, right? This is a basic Appian developments. We are not going to touch the RPAs because those are a separate topics. The robotic process automations, the AI, artificial intelligences. Those are the separate topics which take some maybe months to complete. This is the basic Appian uh, programming. Where you will learn how to do the development in the Appian. And you don't need the API and artificial intelligence everywhere. Yeah. You need APIs, but AI and then RPA. So just to clear on that. All right. So you can see this UI, right? One more thing, in Java or any other programming language, you have to specifically mention, how your UI will look like on the laptop, maybe the desktop, maybe the mobile and all. But here, the Appian itself, manages the UI in different tools. You just have to do some configuration, and it will be ready to use in multiple devices. So you can see the UIs, right? These are the UIs that Appian is built on the Appian. It gives you a nice, rich, enhanced user experience, right? By displaying some images, icons, charts, all those things you can have it in Appian. These are some feedback from the companies, that, as I said, right, see the Nicky, we are one of the giant client for the pharmaceutical company. They said that 12 months of clinical trial, which was taking initially 12 months, now has been reduced to the 1.5 months just because of this Appian process is very fast. Reporting was taking a lot of time to generate the Excel, take the value from the Excel, generate the chart and everything. In Appian, they've done it in the 3 minutes, from hours to 3 minutes, which is very fast, right? So all these are feedback from the companies which says that Appian is very faster as compared to any other languages, right? The leader and all, right? Yeah, Appian leads the market. This was the 2020 record, but recently it's being more. Appian was good in terms of demanded by the clients, but still it is. If you see that many companies during the COVID itself, right, no one was hiring, but Appian position was there because by that time pharmaceutical companies adopted Appian a lot, and then a lot of projects has been made during the COVID, and it gained a lot of response from the clients and good response from the clients, and that's why the market for Appian is grown, like anything. So that's what the Appian, is there, right? Right. So is it like Appian only can work within the Appian? No, you can, if you want, you can also integrate with some third parties. You can bring the data from third party to Appian. You can expose your data to the third party. You can link it. You can share the information. All those things can be done in Appian. So that's why Appian is also very, what I can say is, flexible in terms of connecting with other languages, other tools. Right, as I said, artificial intelligence, unified data, process automations, all the things are part of the Appian. So you must be hearing a concept for data fabric. Nowadays, a lot of companies are talking about the data fabric. So in data fabric is very easy in Appian. Appian gives you one component called Appian records, which is very fast. You can quickly connect the Appian record with any third party data. You can connect 5 or 7 records and then connect all the records at once, just like the concept of the view. So in database, right, if you want to bring the information from 2 or 3 tables, we have to join it, right? So if you join the table, and then if the join is very complex, the view itself takes a lot of time. So instead of that, Appian has come up with the concept of Appian record, where you can bring the information from multiple third parties. You can connect all at one place, work with the data, and then separate the data as well. So that's a data fabric Appian gives you by using Appian record. Right. These are some example of the Appian UI that has been built. You can do, it's beyond limit. What you can't do is you can't use Ajax and all, but yeah, whatever within the Appian you have, it's good enough. Right. These are the charts, some charts, some KPIs. You can do that. You can design a process where you can have the intervention of people, then bots, then AI, combining all these things. You can also design the Appian process. That's why it's very, right. You can see in this image, right? This is the kind of process model that we have, that we need to design the process model. And then you see this little boxes. Those boxes are nothing but the smart services. So for everything, like, so for example, you want to send an email, for example, this one, you can see it here, right? This one, send update notification. So this is an email smart service. You do not have to do any configuration. You just have to mention to whom you want to send an email, what is the subject line, what is the body you want to set. That's it. It will automatically send an email to the third party and wherever you want to send. You don't have to do any configuration of the connectivity or some SOP and whatever. Right? You don't have to. You just have to provide the information. It will take care of it. Right. See, there's a Foster company that it said that it's 20 times faster for any other custom coding. All right, contents. What are the content we have? We have interface objects, we have expression rules, we have constants, process model, reports, to be used in the Appian development. So we will be using all those objects to to achieve our, whatever the concept we are going to have, proof of concept. Maybe we can go with any other use case that you want to think of. We can go with that, and we will see how do we design those. Okay. These are the some companies, I say not a lot, are some companies which are using Appian, a lot for most of their applications. Now, mostly you can see pharmaceutical companies are there, right? So it's not like only pharmaceutical companies. There are financial companies are also there, like Barclays, First Republic Bank, and then HSBC. HSBC is they are using a lot of application in Appian. So yeah, um, everyone is using Appian. So before going to demo, any question, guys?
Hi, I am Betribil. Sorry, I joined late.
Mhm.
So currently I am working as a role developer. So I am working in a ODM. You might
Mhm.
have known. So
Yeah.
and I am also started working on a Kamunda
Right.
projects also. So
Right.
how good for my career this learning APN? So could you please suggest like whether I can the scope of this learning APN and getting certified and trying out. So how it will be helpful for my career?
Mhm.
And how is the
See,
integration between rule engine with the Appian? So is there
right.
any yeah.
See, Appian is basically a low code, right? You don't have to do coding and much coding and all, right? However, the Camunda basically works on the, I think it's an open source PPM, right? It's an open source PPM. So
Mm-hmm.
both are the powerful tools, but Camunda is very new to the market now. You know? But
Mm-hmm.
Appian is already leading the market. Lots of projects are there in the Appian, right? So if you want, you can. There is a openings for the basically Appian, but Camunda is introducing recently to the companies. Companies are hiring people to learn Camunda now. They don't have much opening it, for now. So maybe in
Mm-hmm.
2 3 years, maybe 4 years after that, Camunda might go to the market. But once you know the Appian, right, you will be able to do the Camunda as well, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but right now, if you ask me, I would say just you learn Camunda. There's nothing wrong in it. But if you
Mm-hmm.
want to have a good switch, you want to go with the Appian,
So the market is very good. You are telling correct?
right? For Appian, yes, as
Yeah.
compared
So
to Camunda. Mhm.
okay, okay. So if I learn, if I join this course and if I get the certified Appian developer certification, will that
Mhm.
certification only will be enough to get the job, or I need a lot of practical training or something?
Now that depends, nowadays what happens during the COVID itself, what happens, a lot of fake profiles came, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fake profiles. They wanted to switch, with Appian because it was a requirement and high demand was there. So many people wanted to just switch. They said, I know Appian, they completed the certificate and somehow, and by that time it was happened, the Appian was not taking the certification exams as a third party by using the third party. It was, you know, uh, offline, I mean off video, and you can see that you can take a screenshot, you can ask, search in the Google. You could have done that, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
why many people cleared the certification and they appeared in the, and they got the job. But later
Mm-hmm.
when actually it comes to the work, they were not able to perform. Company had to throw them out because
Mm-hmm.
those were the fake profiles. So
Mm-hmm.
what now companies has introduced is, like, they, in the interview, even though you are certified, in an interview they might ask you to write a simple code just to
Mm-hmm.
know that you know the Appian tool, right? Because it's not by giving a simple thing itself I can tell you that you are an Appian developer or not. So you should
Mm-hmm.
be knowing basic things of the Appian, how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even though you are certified, you should be ready for some practicals. Small one, not the big thing, but yeah, you should be.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen quickly for this demo. And then you see, I'll just demo the last application we built in the last training. Um,
Hi, just one stupid question.
mhm.
What version we are gonna use it like in this training?
So we are gonna use the latest version of Appian because we will be using the free environment provided by the Appian itself. You have to
Mhm.
register yourself, so you will get
Mhm.
your own version, and that environment always in the running on the latest. So the version is 25.1.
25.1. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
And for the registration, we don't need to pay anything. Just free.
No, nothing. It's a free.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So let me share my screen quickly. So this is one of the applications that we built in the last training. This for the Mediclaim app, where we built an application for raising a claim for the medical insurance company. So we build this. Right now there's no task. We'll see this one. But this was the front, the landing page where you can come and see the page here. If you have any tasks, those tasks will be listed here. If you want to see the customer records, we have the customer records here. You know, and then if you wanted to have a summary information of the customer, you can see that. Now if you wanted to see the list of the claims that has been raised into the system, you can see the list of the claims. Now if you want to raise a new claim as well, you can have a new claim. Let me see in the home itself. Maybe I have updated it. Right, I think I updated it. Maybe removed it. So you can raise a new claim. Let me see if it is being added to the customer. No. Yeah, I mean, might be some code update I have done. So you can raise a new claim and see how application works. If you want to display some charts and all, you can do that. So that's how, basically we will be building an application, right? If you want to see the claim details, you can have it. If you want to perform any action on the data and all, we can do that, right? So such kind of application we will be building in Appian. Now, if you want to see how an Appian tool is look like, so Appian tool is, this is Appian tool basically in the browser. Once you log in, so every Appian committee gives you a different suite. The design suite is for the developer, where you can go and do the development. You can create your application and then start building your application. So it has like all the applications, the object list that we have in the throughout your application, deployment details, and monitor mode, and all the things that we have. We will be seeing everything when we start building the application. It also gives you its own database. Appian has its own database that is called MariaDB. That is for the Maria database. Initially, it was MySQL, but later it has been changed to MariaDB. So if you want to create a table and all right, you can create a table in your database itself. You don't have to buy a third-party database. Appian gives you its own database. Right. So this is the Appian window where you can go and do the development, basically. Okay. Any question so far, guys?
So here, do we need Java background you said, right? So while creating an application, so do we need any class structure and inheritance,
No.
those things?
No,
Classes,
no,
okay.
no Java, no polyprism, no abstract class, nothing. Right?
Okay.
The tool has been designed on Java, but you don't have to do all those things. Nothing is required.
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah, go ahead.
sir. What is difference between Pega and Appian? Basic difference.
There is no difference. Both are the BPM tool. It's just the difference of the costing. The UI enhancement that Appian gives you is better than Pega. The customization is easy. That's what basically. Both are the BPM tool. Pega
And
was king like 5 years back. Now Appian has take over on this one by taken over of this Pega. Right. So that's it. Yeah.
market demand, sir.
Market demand is for Appian.
Okay, sir.
Right.
What topics we are gonna cover in an entire session? Like, I mean, is the duration of this entire session going to be 30 days or 40 days? I mean, it's not clear for.
Right. I mean, if you talk about number of trainings, no, I mean, it will continue up to 40 days, maybe 40 days. Maybe sometimes it gets early, but maybe sometimes, due to some holidays, it might go long as well. But it's
Mhm.
continuous, not number of classes, but uh, I'm talking about the number of periods, the
Yeah, yeah.
days, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. 1 hour
Well,
training every day, Monday to Friday, 1 hour, and Saturday, Sunday is a holiday. If there are any holidays in between, so we enjoy that holiday, right? But we create a WhatsApp group. If you have any doubts and questions, you can ask there. We will be answering there.
Okay. And I mean, what list of topics we are gonna cover? I mean, I
We
understood
will
like,
be, yeah,
mhm.
we will share the list of the application content with you guys. There was few things that has been restricted now in Appian, like data type, data custom data type, basically data stores. But what we will do, we don't need that. Basically, we don't need to create, because Appian is suggesting now go move to the record. Try using a record as much as possible. Avoid using the CDTs and data store and all, right, because that was slower as compared to the record. So those things are not there, but what we do, we share the previous videos with you guys so you can understand at least what those things are. But now we don't need it. Okay, so we will be touching interface, records, reports, um, queries, process modeling, smart services, database concept, relationship feature of record, um, whatever we will require, expression rules constant as a basic development. What we will not be touching is AIs, RPAs, these things, okay, which is not required to build an application. Okay. But apart from that, whatever is being used to design a basic application, we will be touching that.
So normally that from designing to the deployment, I mean, we'll see
Right.
everything. Okay.
Deployment, yeah, I can show you the steps to the deployment. I will explain it, but this doesn't allow you to do the deployment because deployment has been disabled. But I'll give you a
Okay.
whole picture how to do the deployment. We'll share a screenshots. We'll tell you the step by steps so you can understand that. Very easy.
So,
Deployment is very easy.
so can't we have some trial version? I mean, do we have some kind of trial version where during session you can show us, okay, there's a trial version for the 14 days, and then I mean, everyone else will download the trial version, they will try it. But we will,
Now Appian is not now given for that. It will
okay.
be chargeable, a lot of chargeable. So
Okay. So just one thing, I mean, just Appian, Pega, and some other tools also they are gonna charge us. So do you think like in the future something gonna come in the free version? So like the I mean those
this is
I
a
mean
Camunda.
but if
Camunda is an open source, right? Camunda is an open source. That's why that is getting attention, but it will take 4 to 5 years to accept by
uh,
the client.
so Commodore is also the BPM tool.
It's a VPN.
Because what Commanda I know it's a some architect um, what like it's just monitoring something. So I got
Right.
some confused. I
Right.
mean
And
there's
now
a
see, app even the Camunda is very new, right? It is enhancing, getting enhanced day by day, right? It's not like they are come up with the whole application at a time. It's getting enhanced. It will take time to reach up to the level of Appian. By the time Appian will also grow some other level, right? So that's how it works. 5 years, 10 years back, Pega was leading. Last 10 years, the Appian is now leading. In future, definitely some other tool will come, right, to lead. That's how industry works. One tool is not gonna be there forever, right?
yeah.
And even humans are replaceable. What's the technology? So yeah, be ready for learning new technology. But in Appian, you are safe at least 5 to 10 years. Obviously, the job is there.
Okay.
Any other questions in that training wise?
So here in Appian tool, we don't need any external, we don't connect to any external services, or we service
we
our
can
Appian.
we
Okay.
can do that. It's a quite we can, as I mentioned, right? We can connect to the third party. We can use the third party services. We can expose our services to third party by using APIs. So we have integration and API object. We will be touching that as well. So we will know how to do that.
So SSO, ADFS, authentication, all those things also can be
Right,
added.
right. So in
Okay.
authentications are there, but the thing is that this trial version doesn't give you the authorization of admin console, so you can go and do that. But I will explain it how it works. Very easy. It's just a configuration. You don't have to worry about it. And we will be sharing the previous videos where you can understand how it was basically done. It's like the normal class video, right? Where you can see how we are doing it. So everything will be there. right?
So, how is the practical sessions like?
I don't do theoretical. Believe me, I don't believe on theoretical. So every day I will be going through a practical session. I will be explaining what we are doing, why we are doing it, and you need to do it the same, or maybe you can do it some other POC. You know, either you can go with the same use case that we are doing in the class, and if you want, you can go with some other as well. Right. So every day there will be a practical, no theory. I don't believe in the theories. For theories, we have community edition, a community you go and learn. But what you need to know, understand is the practical. So practical will be there for all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So there is a learning the tutorial in the Appian itself. How
Right.
that will be benefited? Like I think it's just theoretical or something. Like
See, any development, to understand any development, the most important thing is the connecting the dots. You know, what to do, what this if this is a requirement, what to do it. If I ask you to design an UI, you should know from where I have to bring the information, when I have to create an interface, when I have to create a process model. All these things you should know how to connect it. If you don't know how to connect, you can't build an application. In Appian tutorial, they explain the things, but they explain the things topic wise. This is a process model, this is how I design, this is the interface, this is how I design it. But when to design interface, when to design a process model, when to design a report, it is not there,
hmm.
right? So the very important thing is to connecting the dots, and that is what we do in the training.
Okay. So what is the training duration? Like is it 45 days, right?
Yeah, 40 to 45 days.
Okay, the same time. There is no
Yep.
weekend class.
Nope.
Okay.
What are the level of certifications in Appian?
There are three certifications level 1, level 2, and level 3. One is the analyst, analyst, and then second is the senior developer, and then the lead developer. Every certification will cost $200. If you are working with a company who is the partner of Appian, then you will have to pay $100 for each certification. For an example, Capgemini is a partner of Appian. Cognizant is a partner of Appian. If you are on such company, then you will have to pay half of it. But for that, you will have to register yourself with your company email address. Even for the Appian community, I will suggest to log in with your company email address so that it will get benefited you. If you are using a instead of personal, use your company email address. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Sir, without company email, shall we are able to log in or not, sir?
You can register in the Appian community. You can log in with your personal email address. It might take time to assign you a practice environment, but with your company email address, you will get it soon.
And sir, for the job, we need certification, or without certification, means through the this
Now
training session, shall I
you
get the job?
now you tell me, there are two candidates. If you have to hire for Appian, one is both are equivalent knowledgeable, but other one is having certificate whom you will hire. So it's not about the mandatory, it's about the priority. The one who has a certification will get the priority for sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Will you help on this preparing this exam? Like, is there
Right,
any?
obviously, yeah. I mean, there is a practice set as also available on the community. We will be sharing some of the questions because now it's very difficult to get the questions right because they are taking the exams on the video conferencing. So we try to get the questions. If someone, let's say, you remember two questions, okay, can you please let me know? So you write down the options and questions, and we try to solve it. And try in that way, we try to collect the questions and then share with you guys so that you can clear your certificate. So level one is easy way. There are like 60% of Appian questions, 40% is from the agile. What the agile is, what's the story, what's the acceptance criteria, what is the role of the owner.
So the
So
level Level 1 is the analyst, right? So can we go to developer certification instead of analyst directly, or is it
No, I mean you can, but you should not. You should go with the level wise because uh, you should first doing the level one certification because senior developer is kind of little bit tricky. The question will be tough. Once you start working on yourself, doing some development, then you go for the senior developer, not immediately.
Mhm.
All right. If there are no more questions, if if there are any questions, please do let me know. If not, then um, thank you for joining, and then I hope to see you all tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.